All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Baddy Overwatch League, the final week of the regular season. I am AJ0, and I will be joined here momentarily by Rakudo, who is stepping in, filling in for BSRK, who is having some ISP issues, as no night of the Baddy Overwatch League would be complete without ISP issues. And I'm really excited here. We've got social distancing from the cart going up against Mad Bass for our second match of the night. And we are really blessed this season because there is a lot on the line here in the last week of the regular season. Social distancing from the cart coming off their first bad week of the season, where they lost to Heron's Harem last week, looking to bounce back
ready for battle
with some wins here, finish the season strong. Mad Bass, on the other hand, they need as many points as they can get their hands on because there are a lot of tiebreaker scenarios between themselves, Big Brain Ethos, and Heron's Harem, and one of those teams will miss the playoffs. If social distancing from the cart wins 3-0 here, Mad Bass will most likely be the team that does not advance to the playoff bracket. So Mad Bass, a lot of incentive to try their hardest. Social distancing, a lot of pride on the line after last week. And these two team comps, very, very different heading into this first game.
I would like to point out, though, I got insider information that we scrimmed at Mad Bass, and even though we didn't have Chris with us, they fucking dominated us. So I think they got a good, strong.
Well, we'll see if they are able to do that. So we've got Mad Bass coming out here on the offense first, and they're actually swapping over. Eggman going over to that Sigma real quick after starts. We got Sigma's shield tanks both ways. A lot of hit scan to go around, and a lot of heavy healing here. As this cart moving right under the choke points, and yeah, social distance from the cart. They don't want to defend that first drop. They want to defend down low. His Bark has dropped down. He's got his team behind him. And his team playing the hit scan. Poke War is, oh no, the shield goes down, and Otter Botter gets sniped out by the Rockets. Now Super T finishes off Senpai, and this is looking great for Mad Bass.
Yeah, this is they actually needed it to hold. Social distancing need to hold that as much as they could, having a May instead of 2 hit scan.
Oh, and Tunisub gets staggered late. They will not be able to defend this point with 6. They do, though. Chris DPG is behind the team, and Mad Bass has just become aware. So we'll see how they're going to contest here. They're going to send the tanks out there, go for a momentary 5v6, trying to buy time for their healer to get back, but Sleepy Subcom is already down, and they're playing this fight very aggressively, but they stepped off the cart, and they gave up the point. They won the fight, but they lost the points. What a wasted huge fight by Super T.
Yeah, that was pretty strong. I mean, they had to get on the points fast they could to stall some time, but they did.
I'm sorry, I got my teams mixed up there. That was not a one fight they stepped off the kite. That was just a good old-fashioned they lost the fight.
Well, one team won the fight, so, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yes, now we see the one team engaging into the other, and no one is killing anyone yet, but I'm sure one of these teams eventually will. But here we go. Alt's starting to come out now. We got Chris DBG up on the high ground. He's popping the tactical visor, but he's not fighting as much damage as he's like. But Dr. Eggman comes through with the big slam and another big win for Mad Bass. And social distancing for the cart. They are picking up right where they left off last week, and that is not what they wanted to hear.
Yeah, like I said, Mad Bass fucking dominated us. Like, this is gonna be tough.
Yes, now a lot of time remaining. We see social distancing starting with picks for the first time all night. But Senpai punished for his crimes against humanity. That May pick cannot be forgiven. So we've got a 5v5 breaking out here. And the choke point. Here we go. Sleepy Subcon now popping the attack visor on offense. And Super T and Sleepy finding a ton of damage here. 3 picks come out. And this cart has not stopped all game.
Yeah, and coming into this next fight, with social distancing having Sigma's ult again ready to do a lot of damage, hopefully, but we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, not a ton of ults available because the momentum has been so constant this game. So I expect the few ults we get. Oh, Chris DPG gets picked early, and if you're going to lose this on defense, this is exactly how it would start. Senpai down as well. There is still a Sigma ult committed, but this is advantage Mad Bass 64. Playing slowly, trying to push through the shields here. They're starting to establish the shields there. Now they pick out Otterbotter. That's half the healing down for the defense as this cart is still moving forward. Fire in the hole comes out. We do see a rally coming out. Now Bob coming in from the offense, nice and deep, going to zone everyone into their back line. And this cart still moving. Sigma ult's coming through. Not going to matter a whole lot. Is this cart still moving? In the last chance from social distancing to touch this cart, they do have a Tracer out there who has found one of the healers from Mad Bass, but they need to find more picks, and they need to find it ASAP. Otterbot now down for the defense. Chris DBG down for the defense, but this is still looking all right for social distancing as there's a lot of low health bars. And finally, for the first... No, maybe not, because Super T is fragging out at the end here. And now it is just Tuna Subs Forget on the cart, although a few are coming out of spawn to join. But this stagger fight is going to continue here. As we see Mad Bass, they're starting to find the picks. They need to find more, though, and maybe the spawn advantage has been too much. There are a few members of Mad Bass making it back, but they just lost Super T. They still pick out Otterbotter yet again, though, as these picks are coming out very slowly. And we are seeing ults committed. Sleepy Subcon popping the tactical visor here and finds Tuna Sub. There is no healing available for a moment. Now Otterbotter out of spawn for the defense. But the defense, they only have one tank. No, they have a lot. This is a stagger fight. Everyone has a lot on this cart. But it's all blue in the kill feed right now until they pick out Arapaima from the offense.
He's in the back line. That one.
Oh yeah, Super T up high, very uncontested right now. A nice Sigma ult comes through, and that might finally be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Otterbotter, the last one touching this cart, will not be able to do enough as a solo healer. And the cart has been stalled, but the cart is not stopped, and Mad Bass takes all three.
Yeah, the fucking long-ass fight. That's to put a, to put a blunt.
Yeah.
A lot of these picks, I can't see every single pick, but it seems like with Dr. Eggman being able to put his shield behind the tanks, which means the heals are not going to really be able to get in, and that's a lot of pressure on the enemy tanks. So or for social distancing tanks. So that itself is bringing a lot of discomfort to social distancing. They have to hurry up and get behind or side the shield just so they can get a heal. But man.
Yeah, no answers on defense. We'll see if they can change up the approach on offense, maybe. But so far, out of these hovers, we see a different plan coming through here for social distancing, as they are hovering all dive on offense, except without the tanks.
Yeah, they're definitely have to play some sort of aggressive, either flank or aggressive, behind them in some way. They have to be able to not just attack them front on, but go from the sides and the flanks and be able to kind of take them out. Maybe get the healers in the back and then be able to push from all sides, and that'd be a good way to take them. So we'll see if they can pull it off.
Yeah, so here we go, social distancing, looking to keep that second seed. By the way, another possibility we didn't even discuss earlier, social distancing could lose the second seed if they play badly tonight, which means having to play additional playoff matches. Here we go, dive tanks are coming out of social distancing, so they saw the initial picks, they've swapped, and they have already lost their Genji.
Yeah,
they've already lost their Diva back.
Got Diva kind of going in, and there might have been miscommunication, because just in there by himself.
Yeah, still though, Mad Bass gonna opt to fall back, although Super T's putting some good pressure from up high. Senpai trying to force him back. So now everyone playing this down low is Senpai playing very aggressively, just poking around in the back line. But ooh, they do lose Otterbotter. Eggman from long range gets the kill.
Yeah, they're kind of going in one at a time at the most part right now. They gotta build, group up and get ready to push us. So we're gonna pull this off. Dive is really hard to pull off if you're not all in and all ready.
Yeah, we do see a proper reset comes out from social distancing, and now they're going for fight number 2 here. Ooh, Senpai gets picked on the entry. There's a lot of low health bars. Yeah, that's both of the DPS down. Hard to win a fight without Chris and Senpai around, and I think social distancing, they're going to just back off again.
Yeah, even right there, they got up there, they got some vision on the high ground, and they put their shield down. Once they lost that shield, and they could not dive past that, they had to all just back away, but their DPS is kind of...
Yeah, and Chris DBG, he swapped over off the Genji onto Soldier, but oh my god, just so much damage, and already Diva lost the mech.
Gotta be careful with that high ground. But Tristan, he's pretty good at shooting people,
Yeah, Senpai does manage to get a pulse bomb onto Arapaima in the back line, so that's a healing down, but it's still his team getting picked apart here, and himself getting picked apart as well, is Mad Bass once again is slowly but surely mopping up this fight. And the thing I can't believe is we've had 3 fights. Look at the ult charge on social distancing. No one has accomplished anything with these picks. I mean, literally nothing.
I mean, the switch is there. It's on Ryan and Sigma. I have Ryan and Sigma. So, yeah, it's kind of nuts. But,
Yeah.
Bob and both Sigma's all coming into this. Like, it's going to be pretty hard. It's really hard to push into this.
Yeah, Mad Bass, they're approaching 6-alt territory in the other direction. Well, it doesn't matter because Barf already picked out that Reinhardt is down, and Eggman is committed to Sigma Slam. Tuna sub down as well. And this is looking like another fight that Mad Bass wins early. They do lose Arapaima to Senpai in the back line, but Senpai, well, he's been able to find these early picks. He hasn't been able to turn the fights early enough for his team. And we see Eggman and Benny, tanks coming through to mop this fight up. And now only 70 seconds remaining. Social distancing. They need answers fast, and they are still pushing at massive ult disadvantage. It was only the Eggman Sigma ult committed in that last fight for Mad Bass, and they lose Senpai early.
Mad Bass with 5 ults. Here it is. Everyone hit Q. It's gonna be getting fucking nuts.
Yeah, Christy BG is just trying anything different. He's onto the Hanzo now, but this ult disadvantage is a lot to overcome. Otter does have a Nano, and Tuna's about to have a rally. Here we go. Nano coming through. His Bark is forward, but he's been purpled, and he has to play very defensively with this Nano boost. Not the play they were looking for. By the way, Senpai died before he could toss out a pulse bomb. And now Christy PG down as well. Tag Visor coming out of Sleep Comm, and here we go. The ults are coming out. Tuna Sub popping the rally, trying to keep this team alive as they attempt to survive this onslaught of defensive ultimates. But it finally looks like the momentum is maybe starting to shift. A lot of the ults have been weathered, and not a lot of members have been lost. But now Bark dies very far back, and that could be bad. A lot of tank pressure down. As Christy PG coming back from spawn on the Doomfist right now, as we are in overtime. As this fight getting very spread, but Mad Bass, they're starting to regroup, and they find a lot of picks fast. And this looks like the beginning of the end here, as Mad Bass, wow, have just dominated Watchpoint Gibraltar.
I mean, it's playing as a tank or as a support or even as a DPS. If you're versing the DPS, like both of them that are hit scans on high ground, and they're not just staying on there, just shooting for free and fun, that sucks. No one wants to deal with that, but that's exactly what all they did was just sit up there and just pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, play the game here. Super T on the Ash. I mean, he just non-stop in the kill feed all match. I wish this game showed that. Look at that, 44 eliminations. And they didn't even play out past the first point on defense.
That's fucking nuts. Good job, Super.
70% kill participation, and that completely backs up what the eye test was showing.
Yeah, I mean, if you just pop, 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 it's all you're gonna fucking do. Just pop, 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 kill, 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 die, die, die. Like, you're not, I mean, not Reaper, but, you're still gonna kill. It's fucking nuts. I mean, going to this next match, I mean, we'll have to see some pretty big changes, but like I said, that was a push the cart type of thing, so it might be a very different year. We'll have to see.
All right, this is. Oh wait, no, it's.
Well, they're gonna.
Sorry, it's a role swap. I was thinking a player swap for a second, and I was like, whoa. No, just swapping roles here. Chris DPG and Active Locket, if I could read.
Now, has anyone ever seen Chris play tank on social distance?
I don't think we've seen much of that this season.
Huh. Well, we're going to see Bart and Chris DPG playing these tanks. I have a feeling they're probably going to do some sort of, maybe there's some dive or something interesting. I don't know. I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with this, because Chris is a pretty good hit scan, pretty good soldier.
Yeah, they must have just been feeling that the tank diff was too much to handle last match, and they need something different. So we'll see here what Chris DPG has going. But this is just so odd. I mean, 4 maps ago, we were talking about how we expected this team to run away with a championship, and then just free fall. A really kind of limp loss to Heron's Harem last week, and an even worse first map here tonight.
I don't think that's because of them playing bad. I think that's because those, like Mad Bass and Heron's Harem, they fucking practice and they fucking went ham. They figured their kinks out and did well, and that's just what a lot of these teams are doing. They're fucking going ham. It's kind of nuts. It's really cool to watch them just improve so much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, and that can be really rare in Overwatch, where generally the what you see early is what you get in this league. So we'll see if Mad Bass can keep that momentum rolling onto map 2 here, as we see a lot of different picks coming out. Super T onto our first Echo of the match.
Yeah. And they're going to be coming out of that truck that it's labeled. But here we are.
All right, so Mad Bass on the offense, going to come through. May and Echo trying to be disruptive.
Reaper on the snow. Oh, what?
Yeah, active locket goes for the drop and immediately has to get out. He's a long way away from rejoining his team. This could be a chance for Mad Bass to press on the gas, as they are looking for some damage to the stick here as the shield war begins. But a lot of good healing coming out of Tuna Sub, keeping his team topped off right now.
Echo on the flank. Never mind.
Yeah, ooh, yeah, lost track there.
That's probably going to happen quite a bit. Echo might be going the flank pretty hard to go up in the sky and just shooting him from above. Yeah, it's going to keep happening. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, but despite that, just no real pressure being traded. These teams being very patient here in the shield war, as we see a Coalescence comes out of Mia Nini, and now Coalescence comes the other way out of Tuna Sub as well. As the Maywall is going to just put a pause on this fight for a moment. No, I take that back because the tanks on the defense are both being shredded apart here now. Oh my god, a bunch of members down from social distancing from the cart. Mad Bass did lose a few on their entry, but they are still completely uncontested on this point. There is just active Locket, who is now going to be the last to go down. Super T mops up that fight big, and Mad Bass picking up right where they left off.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Eggman's only fucking goal right there was, I'm going to get ult, and he got ult, and that's all they did. Like, once he had ult, they pushed, they went in, they killed him, that's all they waited for.
Yeah, fortunately for social distancing, unlike a lot of last map, they at least got some ult there after that huge extended fight. So we're going to have a very explosive fight here. But they still have to play well, as there is a lot of ult pressure available from Mad Bass, as they are pushing right on in. They want to use this momentum. Arapaima laying down the Baptiste ult, as we see Symmetra ult comes out of Senpai, just trying to buy time. Automata very aggressively popped the Lucio ult there, so that's no longer available. Super T did die on the sentry though, and that is a nice shatter out of Bark, and I think finally we're going to see social distancing straight up win a fight.
There we go. Yeah, so they definitely have to play as aggressive as possible, referring to social distancing, because they are playing close quarter. It's going to be very important that they just keep that up. With Dr. Eggman's shield going to go behind tanks to stop the healing, they all have to play very short niche. And, you know, they have a Moira and a Lucio, so they shouldn't have to worry about that too much.
Yes, now heading into this next fight, there is a Zarya Reaper ult available from the defense. And there we go, they're going for it. Reaper off the high ground, but it's going to be defended. Baptiste field comes down, and that is two massive ults completely wasted. Now, Automata and Christy PG are down, social distancing. They went big with the ults, and it didn't work, and now they're paying the price. As Mad Bass, they're pushing on in. They have not lost a single body. They've hardly even lost a single health bar, as they are just mopping up social distancing, who are now trying to win this fight with spawns. Sleepy Subcom does get picked by Chris DPG, but that Roadhog is going to eventually be punished, you would think, but now Symmetra ult on a Senpai is going to at least disrupt this fight a little more. And active Locket does make it out of spawn, trying to disrupt. This has been a lot of time brought. And it's looking like the defense, they might have a chance to hold here, as they are just getting spawn rush out here. Super T now down as well. And I can't believe it, but that was not a tick.
No, that was very clutch shield, but Senpai did that. Using his ult from spawn and just building up the shield up, and then Ram's able to hold the point, hold the shield up in that tiny little corner, just long enough for his teammates to get there and start fucking going ham. That was clutch. That was a good job, guys.
Yeah, now Chris DBG swaps back off that Roadhog onto the Zarya. That was just a stall pick, as we see active Locket setting up on the high ground again. Nope, just kidding. As Mimi wasting no time here. Coalescence comes out to start this fight, as it didn't accomplish a whole lot there, but it is just a player ults. And now, Bark dropping his ults. As Sleepy Subcon goes down early, a little bit away from a Blizzard. Is this social distancing looking to play this out? But they lose Automata early in this fight. They lose Active Locket as well. They lose Bark as well, and now Mad Bass has a lot of momentum here, as all members alive are pushing on to this point. Super T once again lighting up this kill feed. Can social distancing stall this one out again? Senpai going for a rinse and repeat of the play that won them the last fight.
Try to pull it off too. They're gonna hold on there. They're not gonna have enough damage to be able to hold it. Although the whole entire team's back, the charge come in.
Yeah, some big spawns. They came back, but active locket. Die only once. That might be enough. As here we go. Graviton comes out one way, Blizzard the other way. As we're seeing some low health bars, and that Blizzard really helped out on this push. As all members of Mad Bass are here on the point. No, sorry, 5 members of Mad Bass here on the point. As Autobotter now pops sound barrier, it hits 3, but this stall, it's buying a lot of time here still, and there still has not been a tick over. But finally, Mad Bass kills everyone on the point just in time for more members to come back.
That's all I can do, just keep buying time.
Yeah, they keep buying time, but it is finally may not have been enough. Active locket is Reaper right down on the point, loses his life. Is it this? Oh, it's a block, Shatter. Oh no, the other way though. The fat Shatter, but there was just not enough there to follow up. And a valiant efforts, but not enough. Social distancing will lose the second point. Mad Bass. Whew.
Yeah, Super T putting a lot of pressure on always ulting onto a Rhine and becoming Rhine. That was that's a lot. It definitely sucked and put a lot of hurt onto social distance.
Still,
I
though,
never went
better than Gibraltar went. Only 80 seconds remaining when all was said and done.
Yeah, it was definitely a good hold. Like it could have been a lot worse, and they managed to hold it pretty well. So I feel like that should be a good bump in their spirit, especially from how last map went. I think that was pretty solid. So they just got to keep up the pressure, keep up the spirits, the morality, and the bumble buck fuck kill them all routine. You know, that thing.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
There's not much more I can say after that one, because that would be awkward. And we don't want awkward here. Not
in my Baddy League. Alright, so on the defense, we got Social Distancing coming out there, running this May and Ash, the double shields.
Yeah, you're gonna keep up what they are going. Oh no, that didn't have May before, right? No, it was different. It was Echo. That's right. But they're able to have a good snipe, kind of sitting back. I'm sure Super T is gonna like take on the high ledge, and when they all go under to push from the right, Super T is gonna keep sniping.
Yeah, Super T, he's been big no matter what he's been playing, no matter what the situation is all night. So we'll see if he can keep trying to carry this team. As we got Ryan Zarya coming out of the offense, as they are taking the time, looping around. They did get split from Senpai, who wants to just play long range, but Autobotter gets picked out early, and she is having a rough night tonight.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but Senpai on the flank is going to do his best to keep putting a lot of pressure on their supports and DPS.
Yeah, Senpai is kind of keeping these shields honest. They can't all stack up, because then they'll just open themselves up to Senpai's sightlines as the fight gets committed to, but Bark goes down very early here. That's not good for social distancing. Chris DPG down as well. No tanks available. They haven't gotten any picks yet. You have to think they're going to try to turn tail and get the hell out of this one, but they're kind of staggered in there if Mad Bass wants to push it.
Soldier's going to be a big stagger here.
Oh yeah, there we go. Senpai staggered. And that is a lot of time bought by Mad Bass.
Yeah, they'll have to put a big one out of their fucking big heads on this. Like Reaper trying to, I don't know what he's just putting pressure, I guess. Hopefully he won't die.
No, the game changes, but the Baddy League Reapers don't. So we'll see here. What can this long-range Reaper accomplish? As Mad Bass is now being pushed upon by aforementioned Reaper. Autobotter, though, the first one down in this fight yet again. But Super T does go down. That is a big pick in the other direction as we have a 5v5 heading towards this point. Social distancing, trying to keep playing this one slow, but now Bark is down. Active locking up on the high ground. He did shoot at the Ana that was right there. That was odd, but regardless of the oddities, Mad Bass kind of mopping this one up. And they will hold this point yet again. Seeing if they can get any staggers here. They're chasing out if they can get the slurp. And Senpai is up on the high ground. He's just getting himself staggered late again, unfortunately, for social distancing. And yeah, they're taking their time on this stagger. They're taking their time on this. They play it so wrong. The Senpai gets a double kill just as his entire team makes it back when spawn stagger goes wrong. And now social distancing. All 5 of them are onto the point in a 5v4, but they lose Autobotter again. Hammer being dropped. We have 4v4 on the point. As a Graviton. Oh goodness, Christy Peachy hits no one. What a weird fight. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we still see social distancing committing to trying to push here, seeing if they can find any staggers as the spawns are coming through. A Blizzard gonna try to zone anyone from entry, and Senpai gets caught frozen and slaughtered for it. But this is still spawn advantage going over to social distancing, and they are going to cap this point. That was one of the strangest fights I have ever seen in Overwatch.
It's definitely very interesting. But they are going into this with 2 DPS ults and probably a Moira very quickly into this. But at the same time, Dr. Eggman's going to have his gravitational. So it's really going to depend on that big fucking giant circle ult.
Alright, so we'll see if Senpai, ooh, he gets picked out early, and all that ult advantage might be for naught here. There is no res online. But despite that, we do see social distancing going to try and set up on this flank here. They're going to see if they can just buy some time for Senpai to get back. Maybe just poke away. No, they're going to commit, and that's going to get Bark split for his team. Meanwhile, Active Locket was picked up by the long-range Ash plays. Now Bark down as well. And this Outman fight is a disaster that's just going to give a ton of more ult charge back over to the defenders as they are going to mop this fight up.
Yeah, the ult advantage is definitely going to go to waste here. Unfortunately, Reaper was trying to flank on the side, but Super T, he kind of just knew. He knew he was there, and he just shot him with his bullets.
And those bullets will do enough.
That they will, Colin.
So a lot of ults going into this next fight, even though, I mean, they lost the ult advantage, but they still have kind of even footing on the ults, which is better than it could be. As we look for an explosive fight, Senpai gets taken really low, but he will survive. So let's see who will lead the charge first. It looks like the offense going for the psych out, make everyone think you're flanking, and then go back into the straight line. Is Active Locket really taking his time to enter this fight? They've lost Bark very early. Now Tuna Sub down as well, and a few ults committed by the defense is going to be enough to hold this point.
Yeah, as soon as they heard all the ults, I mean, they all just kind of, social distancing just like spread like rats, just like fucking running away, and they got away, but...
Actually, all that social distancing committed there was a coalescence, and now there's only going to be a bomb available from the defense. This actually may have been the play to bait out all the ults and then go for a massive fight with huge advantage. So watch out, we are closing in on both the takeouts. They cannot leave somebody early though. They cannot throw away this ult advantage. They will be pushing into a Sleepy Subcon Blizzard though. That is going to be the big one to watch here. So keep an eye. And once again, Bark gets split from his team, but he will survive it this time.
Gonna come from the other ground.
Yeah, now a hammer on the flank, straight into a shield, and Bark dies first yet again. As now the Qs are being pressed. Active Lock in the backline. He takes out one. Senpai takes out another. And we see some picks coming through. But it may not be enough, as we've seen what spawn advantage can do here. Social distancing. They get everyone onto this point, but the tanks and a tank and a healer are stalling this out for a while, and now Super T finally coming through with some big kills, and the spawn advantage is going to end up flipping this fight back around.
Yeah, they're going to have one more fight, and only one more fight to deal with this, so... Good luck, social distancing. I believe in you guys. You can do it. Thumbs up! And Bark already going down, losing their Ryan, their main tank. They're gonna have to go into this fight. No, they might actually have some time if they pull back enough and let the Ryan come back. But it's gonna be very, very iffy here. And I don't know where Swift is, but I'm gonna continue. Oh.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here now.
And Senpai, yeah, Senpai gets picked, and...
Already the ult's coming out, and Gravitational Flux is going to pull them up into the sky. Ryan's going to be up and down, and they're going to have to put forward. They're going to head forward. Christy PG, you're already on the point. Try to hold off as best as they can.
Yeah, oh man, this is a 5v5 here on this point, as everyone's just trading picks. It's a big coalescence on Mimi. Mimi does find 2 kills here, as this is last attempt for social distancing. And I don't know if they're finding enough picks for it to happen. A hammer gets dropped. Hammer
Big
gets shot.
hammer.
Oh, and that is a
Dead
big
hammer.
scatter. Yeah, that could be what they needed. As it's looking like Bob's going to come out just to be the icing on the cake. And Mad Bass comfortably win on defense. And that means they win the match.
Yes. Yes, it does.
And now, interesting here is Active Locket. First, we'll go watch the play of the game here. So Active Locket, one of these drops that did work out is bam, a big shatter. Doesn't even need to pop the ult.
That's a big shot.
But it works sometimes if you can hit that hardcore M1.
Very
now,
fat shot.
As we head into this next map, we can be looking at a multiple way tie at 8 wins. If Mad Bass wins this next map, they will match social distancing at 8 wins, but they'll have the tiebreaker.
Ooh. Interesting.
And I believe that forces a 3-way tie at 8 wins.
Really? That's pretty interesting.
Thoughts they won the last match. No, sorry, who won the last? No, Big Brain E-Thoughts. What did they? Big Brain E-Thoughts is only at 7. So Mad Bass will either tie with Big Brain E-Thoughts or they will tie with social distancing here. So we are going to have, it could come down to head-to-head tiebreaker stuff, which is really exciting. And if you're Heron, this is incredibly disappointing because you wanted this team to lose so that you didn't have to win all the maps in the next match.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like they can. I mean, they've been playing pretty strong, so it'll be very interesting.
We have to be honest here. Give Ride Wall Climb has been in a rough spot all season. 3-0ing them, very possible. So if Bass wins this, I just got the confirmation. If Mad Bass wins this, they get the 2nd seed straight up.
Oh, shit.
So that means Mad Bass, a bye to the semifinals is on the line. And at that point, Heron competing with Big Brain E-Thoughts for that playoff spot. So we'll get to that when we get to that, though. First of all, we have this major 2nd seed showdown. Mad Bass versus social distancing from the cart. So much on the line here.
Oh, really?
Wait, isn't sorry, you guys can't hear the. Isn't Big Brain at 7? So if Heron's Harem 3-0s. Well, I mean, isn't Heron's Harem at 5? So if they 3-0, they'd be at 8, which is one more than Big Brain. So they'd go top 4 no matter what.
That's what I'm hearing.
And no one on stream can hear. I'm sorry, no one on stream can hear the person I'm responding to right now, which is 30. We'll worry about that when we get to it. There are a lot of scenarios at play based on head-to-head and based on whether teams 3-0. We will worry about getting to those in the next match because there's just too many scenarios. All of these teams are still trying to win. That's the most important thing. No one can look at their matches and go, well, we have nothing to play for. I mean, I guess except for Give Ryan Wall Climb. But you know what? I've always said there's pride in not being as last place as you can. So hopefully Give Ryan Wall Climb will be able to finish the season strong.
So yeah, it's a bit scary for us too. I feel like Mad Bass is playing really strong, and I'll be honest, I'm nervous for it.
Yeah, it is setting up to be a really exciting playoffs. As by the way, to anyone not checking chat here, we're still getting these teams set up as these teams are just making sure everything is ready. So we're not just delaying to figure out the tiebreaker scenarios if anyone's concerned about that. But all right, so we got Fwonk Womble coming in for. Oh, geez, I'm not watching that game. I'm watching the other game as I pull up my notes here. So Fwonk Womble coming in, and who did we drop? There's a Tuna Sub is out for social distancing. So after 2 losses, they're gonna try something different. I'm not sure. Has Fwonk Womble played this season?
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if it's been much. Okay, so last week I think.
The only thing that sucks about taking Tuna Sub out is that I fucking love tuna fish. Like, it's just delicious.
Well, you got to be careful because if you leave that fish out for too long, it will rot. And we see social distancing, not just practicing good health habits by social distancing from the cart, but also good health habits of refrigerating their fish. So thank you, social distancing. You may not be winning this match, but you are at least winning the battle of moral standards.
And friendship. Because, like, who wants to be with somebody who eats raw fish and bad fish? Fuck those people.
Amen. So, alright, we are heading over to the Sanctum.
Yeah, and looks like we're maybe seeing a Pharah into this, so a lot of boosts might be happening.
Yeah, not a lot of fire tonight, so I'm excited to see this coming out. Oh, Senpai toys with our hearts. Goes to
What an
everyone's
asshole.
bottom 3 favorite character, Hanzo. So we have Ash in both directions, Hanzo and Mei rounding things out. Yes, here we go. Only one Roadhog here, so Dr. Eggman is officially Bang Master until he loses that title. As we got the long range poke-off going here, but social distancing getting poked a little harder. There we go. The bang begins. Dr. Eggman hooks Bark straight down to his death.
Coming on the flank is not going to kill Heal.
Yeah, ooh. Man, some big picks there. And that immediately turns into social distancing getting the first cap of the night here. As, yeah, Eggman and Mia, they took a while to reset that one. They probably should have just jumped off.
Most likely. But,
yeah, that's a problem. Some teams, they don't know the most difficult call in Overwatch. Hey, you need to kill yourself.
I think I picked that call way too much.
It's a good call. There are a lot of tactics in play in Overwatch. Revolve around some good old suicidal. But here we go. We got the flank coming through from Mad Bass, the often not used flank, as they open up some space for Eggman to come in. And he does have a whole hog available already, by the way. So Eggman, yeah, he's going whole. Oh, he is going so whole. I had a little sound glitch there, but Eggman finds 2, Super T finds another, and now a defensive Bob comes out of Chris DPG as they're trying to hold on to this point. Bob isn't even on the point to contest for them, and not the most useful Bob we've seen this season, and that is going to be Mad Bass off Eggman's back, flipping this point back.
Oh, mishap. But coming into this, I guess I didn't even realize it, but Chris DPG and Active have switched back, and they are now, he's now playing DPS.
Yeah, just flank playing on the heels. So, heading into this next fight, so we're getting close on some ults here. It could be a lot popped in this next fight.
So it'll be nice to see
tap them.
Hanzo Dragon into an Orisa Pulp, but we'll see if that actually happens.
Yeah, and they're gonna Hanzo Dragon through the Baptiste ult. I don't even know if that works. But it zones. It zones a lot, and now it is Mad Bass. They have to kind of play the retake here, but Bob coming out of Super T, who is really uncontested up on this high ground, but still a lot of picks being traded both ways. Bob, though, being just a banger over here, putting a lot of pressure onto this backline, as Mad Bass is pretty comfortably holding on this point, but Chris DPG has flanked around behind this team, and he's found 2 kills for it, and now we see the remaining members are stuck inside the side room. Eggman not able to retouch the point, and the point is going to be flipped back to social distancing.
There's what I like to see. They're like, you're not shutting us out this time, you fuckers. We're gonna win this one. Exclamation point. But coming into this though, right now they do have a pretty defensive ball. But they're also versing into both Roadhog's ult and Mei's ult, so good luck.
Yeah, a lot of damage taken. Baptiste has to commit the field, and oh, Wonky Womble gets hooked, and he has to commit the Transcendence not to get popped there, but Sleepy Subcon died before a Blizzard came out, and this is looking good for Mad Bass here as they're trying to push forward. Oh man, picks being traded here as now this fight's maybe going to make its way towards the point. Moira alone on the point. This is very split.
They're going to hold this point. They're actually probably going to take this round, it might look like. However, they do have to still deal with the Moira and the both. No,
there is some stall picks coming through. Now, that means Sleepy Subcon. Enough time has been bought to get that Blizzard onto the point, and that is huge. We saw Active and Senpai both go down. Otter down, and Bark trying to find some late kills here. But if your play is Orisa versus the world, you're usually going to lose it. And lose it they do. SDFK loses the point at 99.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. But right now, they do have both of their tank ults, so...
Yes, that is big, because there are no ults... There is no ult close for Mad Bass, as they have to win this fight. These tanks need to come through big here for SDFK. We'll see if they can do it. As the Slurp coming through does not find any kills. Some damage sticking onto Bark, but it's a tank. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Now, what will Active Locket do? Sigma, can you slam?
If he can slam, maybe they can jam. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he is really taking his time. They want to be methodical here as they get the battery down onto the point. Still waiting, and here we go. Attention, citizens of Neo, New York. This is a Chaos Dunk advisory, and all the members have stepped off of the point. They had their defensive position, and they just let the point flip, and now it is Mad Bass trying to hold this, and they're doing a very poor job of it because SDFK have regrouped properly. Christy PG with a big old bomb. Christy PG falls to his death, but it doesn't matter. SDFK are going to take the Bang Sanctum.
That was pretty clean. That was very clean. Wasn't reckless in any way, shape, or form. It was a clean take.
Yeah, we take those.
I put pressure on there. I was able to putting a wrist assault, this little bongo, putting on the ground, be able to make sure that they can kill the shields fast. So Mad Bass had to get off the point just to regain their threshold. That was it. It was tough. It was tough to get back into that.
All right, so we head on to round 2 here.
5.
Yeah, with round 2. It looks like we're not going to have a Roadhog this time. We're going to see Dr. Eggman playing in the Sigma again.
Yo, Rakudo, how many liters of water do you think I drink during a normal match that I cast?
6 liters and a cola.
It's a lot. Not quite that much, but it's a lot, folks. Shout out to our former sponsor, Water, that I think has been dropped, but it's free unless you pay for it, and you should stay hydrated too, as these teams are going to attempt to hydrate themselves with the blood of the enemies on this point. Everyone rushing straight in for the face-to-face, full frontal team fight breaking out on this point. It is the tanks getting low, but Mark barely holds on to his life there. It is just not a lot of damage taking. Everyone using this pillar, using these shields very effectively, as this is going to be a very long fight. When this explodes, you have to think it's going to pop huge. As Senpai is the first to go down, but Super T goes down the other way. 2 of the superstars down, but now that's both of the DPS down for the Bass. And SDFK may have found what they need, but Mia Eve getting a nice coalescence group, trying to keep what remains of her team alive. And Flank Wobble goes down the other direction. Now Bobs are out. This is just such an explosive fight, but that Bob, Christy PG, comes through big. And Dead Ash.
Yeah, that was actually really important with the Social Distancing tanks, putting match to match with pretty much the whole entire team of Mad Bass. Their DPS, Social Distancing DPS, was able to pull the flanking on the side, put a lot of pressure, making sure that their Mad Bass's resources were divided. That's how they really get that point.
And I'll see what can they do here on the defense. They are still sitting onto a Baptiste field, and they're getting close to a few more ults. Meanwhile, SDFK on the defense. Mad Bass, they are sitting on a lot of ults, and here we go. Citizens of Neo, New York being slammed. Super T the first was that dragon, more of a zoning ults. As now we see Mad Bass, they aren't sure which way they want to loop around. They're just kind of getting back and forth into this poke war. And SDFK, they've got to be very content with that, as they're just ticking time away here. As here we go, Symmetrical comes through kind of deep, as now everyone's making their way towards this point. A lot of low health bars here, but the kill's not being found. As we see Flank going with a nice Transcendence, keeping a whole low health team alive. As Mad Bass, they have found a few kills here, but they are losing a few as well, as Eggman and Super T once again are just fragging out here. And that is going to cause this point to flip. Well fought, Mad Bass.
69%.
They just wanted it to be nice.
Yeah, so with that flip, it's going to be quite interesting to see what ults we have here. We still have Bob again, which is pretty nice. And with Hanzo's all coming in, we'll see if we can get that, once again, that pretty good space. Yeah, 69, everyone's saying it. Yeah!
Alright, so here we go. Will they hold on to their nice dreams, or will they unfortunately take this point back? SDFK going for it. So they are both their DPS ults. A lot of ults available here. Let's try to keep track of it all. So here we go. Sleepy and Subcon leading with the Blizzard, but Senpai leading with the Dragon the other way. The Dragon splits the uprights, but not a lot of capitalization. They do take an active locket nice and early, though. And now Autobot Senpai down as well. This is looking good for Mad Bass.
Yeah, and with having both a Symmetra and a May, it's going to be very difficult to take that point. They're going to have to, Social Distancing is going to have to play off of picks, and they're going to have to get that. So,
yeah,
good luck.
There was kind of a lot more setup than it felt like, as this timer is already going to be ticking past 60 here. This is a pretty huge fight for SDFK if they want to take Nepal here and now. They probably have to win this fight by the time they get set up. So here we go. What can they do with these ults? The answer is get a pick early. Chris DPG gets the pick, and that's going to turn into a Bob. Super T never got to drop the Symmetra Berry. Now Eggman down as well. Pop the Sigma for nothing. And now in the other direction, Active Locket popping his Sigma Slam. That's going to take an Arapaima, and this point is going to be flipped by SDFK, as it's now Mad Bass that needs to reset this if they don't want to lose Nepal, as they're getting picked and staggered here. They will have time for one more fight, but they got to make it fast.
I appreciate social distancing wanting to win, but getting off in 69, come on, fucking a-hole.
Unlucky. And now we head into, last fight territory here. It's Mad Bass trying to make it back towards this point. Remember, they will have a Orisa battery. Not exactly the game-winning ult you want to have. Meanwhile, the other direction, Fwonk Womble, big one is this Transcendence. So what can the defenders do is they're holding on to this point. Baptiste barrier is out, and they barely step out of the point overtime. Bark does go down early, and Fwonk Womble was not able to keep his tanks alive, as both of the tanks for SDFK go down, and now the Dragon from Senpai, they're trying. Is this fight getting kind of split here? Multiple deaths in every direction. Bob comes out of Chris DPG. Bob's been big all night. Can he do it again? He's already taken out one of the healers. Oh my god, Chris DPG lighting up this kill feed. And SDFK, after a bad start to the night, they bounce back and they will take Nepal. They will take the second seed.
Yeah, that was really nice. That was good job, teams. You guys did it. No, it was really the clutch to watch them play.
So play of the game going to be Super T here on the Symmetra. Old school Baddy League tradition, as who needs more skill than that M1 key?
M1's a very important key.
I can't M1 like that.
You should always hit M1 if you're Ryan. Never hit fucking right click.
Alright folks, that's going to do it for the second match. Stay tuned, we'll be back in just a moment. Heron's Harem versus Give Ryan Wall Climb, with all of the playoff implications on the line. So stay tuned.